All right, cool. Well, first off, I want to say thank you to anyone and everyone tuned in into this. My name is Josiah. I am a local realtor in San Diego, and have created this presentation just to go over the buying process, all the ins and outs, what it takes to win in this specific market, and overall how you can find success working with someone like myself. So mission statement is to overall by the end of this is hopefully I get to become your trusted realtor partner and help you find a clear option as far as who you would like to work with when it comes to that time you are ready to purchase a home. I am dedicated to guide every single one of my clients through each step of the process of this big journey. You know, it's a very important choice in a lot of people's lives, and for me, I bring the confidence to the table to make sure it is seamless and easy as possible, where there's the less stress, the better. So, yeah, a little bit about me. I have about 5 years of experience. I'm originally from the Central Valley, Fresno, California, and I've been in San Diego about 3 years now. I still service the Central Valley as well. So, for anyone from out there, my hometown, I can still, and I to this day, I still help when it comes to buying, selling, investing, as far as that goes. My company is Real Brokerage, and I can kind of cater to making sure my service is as personalized, is as easy and seamless to your exact needs. And one of my strengths is negotiation when it comes to the table when we're going back and forth on the nitty gritty, on the actual terms, and overall making sure you come out in the best possible situation that I can create for you possible through those negotiations. So that being said, a little bit of the process here, not a little bit, but this is kind of the bigger picture. The way I like to break this down is just beginning to end, right? I'm going to go over all of these steps. I know it looks like a lot, and it can be a lot, I'll be honest. But part of, for me at least, when I'm representing a buyer or someone that might, want to work with myself after this, my goal is to make this almost like you don't even remember what happened in a good way, if that makes sense. But yeah, to go down number by number, let's say you're watching this, you're tuned in, and by the end of this, you decide whether now or later down the line, hey, you know what? I think I want to work with Josiah. I want to explore the buyer process on buying a house. So day one, I would sit down with you on a free buyer's game plan meeting, and I would go over with you step by step, beginning to end, what it takes to buy the house. And it includes all of these steps here. Once we do the actual buyer game plan meeting, you would get with it's called a loan officer, a lender, a mortgage loan officer, and they will run your background as far as income. Basically, you apply for the loan, the home loan, and through that process, you'll find out how much you're approved for. You can run by with them what you're comfortable as far as monthly payment, what makes sense for you, situation by situation, what loan do you want to use, all of that specifics you would get with them, and I kind of leave it to them since they're the professionals. So once you get pre-approved for a loan, then we can start looking for houses. We can start going on active home tours on the market, and before that step, I create a tailored property search based on your needs. Do you want to be in a certain area of San Diego or Fresno? Is there a certain criteria you need? You need a certain amount of bedrooms, right? A certain amount of space. Do you have a big family, a small family? Is it your first house? Is it your second, third, fourth? Is this just an investment, right? And you're not totally tied to it emotionally at all. It's just more of a numbers game for you. What are we looking for as far as numbers go, investment wise? So we'll hone that down on this step. After that, we'll start looking at homes. We'll start actively going in person on homes that you would find on that search, anything I send you, and also anything you might find for yourself that you think is fit. And let's say we find the house that you want. You know what? I want this house, Josiah. This is the one right here. We would then send an offer with the actual real estate contracts involved. I write it up. I put in all the terms that we need. And for me at least, I don't like to, cross my fingers and hopefully they'll take our offer, right? I like to position your offer that is going to win if there's any other competition on the table. And that includes things like talking with the other realtor involved, getting idea of what they need, what their client needs, letting them know exactly how, figuring out how exactly we could come out with our best foot forward to position us in the best way possible, and understanding when we can use that already as far as negotiations. That's when the negotiations actually start in the first place, is when we're sending that offer. So I make sure, for me, that no one's time is getting wasted, if that makes sense. If we're going to send an offer, it's because we're serious about it, and we're doing it because we want to purchase this house and we want to follow through with it. So let's say they take our offer, we open escrow. That is the process that it takes once they take our offer. That's the process of basically transferring the house from the seller to you. Typically, it's written up 30 days or less. I'm having a lot of luck and success doing even less than that. So when it comes to timelines, I try to make sure that it's on a timeline that makes for everyone one, but also if we can do it quicker than 30 days, then I'm game. I will, of course, let you know ahead of time that, hey, I'm positioning us to get this done as quick as possible. Make sure, it's easy and seamless as possible. So, and then these steps until keys are in during that 30-day process of escrow. So you'll do inspections on the house. I'll get into that. You'll order an appraisal. I'll also get into that later. You'll wait for the loan to clear. The loan then funds the actual loan itself for the house. And then it records with the county your name going on the title of the home. Once that's done, I get to give you your keys, and then we call that what's called key day. So a lot of the good thing about buying a home is that it's very linear, meaning steps can't happen until one is done before the other, right? You're not gonna get the keys if we don't do inspections on the house, right? The loan isn't gonna clear until we get these two steps done before, right? So the cool thing is, when we're in the middle of the process, we know what to expect. And part of that is me as well, giving you proper heads up. Hey, expect this to happen on this date, expect this to happen on this date. And you'll know that, each step of the way, you'll know ahead of time. That way you're not caught out of the loop. So this is all the stuff that I get into the nitty gritty itself within the buyer game plan meeting itself with you. So we'll cover all of those things. This is more just to cover, base level processes, base level of the entire, A to Z steps of buying a home. And once that's done, it's also an opportunity for me to kind of meet you, us to get face to face. I try not to make it so much about work, because it could be very boring and black and white and mundane when we talk about all the contracts and everything as far as that goes. For me, at least, I try to come at you as a human, as a friend, honestly. To this day, I can call and text any one of my past clients right now, and we can chop it up, because I have genuinely made real friends throughout this career that I have done real estate for. And that's one of my biggest joys, that I'm able to, know you a little bit more deeper in person. And it's going to happen. Even once we close, don't worry, we're not breaking up. I'm going to be around. That's, I kind of make sure that, for me, I don't want to be a one and done realtor. Once you purchase a home, a lot of the times, sometimes they'll disappear on you and you'll never hear from them ever again, in case you need like a gardener, a fence or something like that. For me, I'm always, even after the process, even after the purchase, I'm still going to be around, because I'm not going anywhere, just to give you a total heads up. Now, we just done the buyer's game plan. Now I just sent you off on your way to a loan officer. And this is just a few of the things. I don't want to get, too complicated and complex with what they're going to ask for, but this is about the gist of what they will require you to fill in for them and provide them once you do a loan application. You'll see terms like DTI. That means debt to income. They'll look at your credit, they'll look at your income, they'll look at your work history, and they might even ask for things like your tax filing. So Don't be surprised if they ask you for more items. And it's the only reason why I say don't be surprised is to strengthen your file. One to get approved, and also to strengthen what you are providing for the file itself, and to make sure that we're putting you in the best position possible for loan approval. So that way, when you get a pre-approved loan, it's because you actually qualify. It's not because there's a difference between pre-qualified and pre-approved. For me, my goal is to get you pre-approved. So meaning, once we're ready to close, it's because we already did all this preemptive work you already did all this preemptive work ahead of time. And that way we are for sure good to go. If we write up a contract for 20 days, 15 days, maybe even less than that. So just keep that in mind. So you just got approved for a loan, and now we are in the process of finding your exact house. So I will then meet with you again. We are going to game plan out, what are you looking for exactly? Let's say you got approved for a home for $700,000, right? Okay, what specific areas are we going to look in that prices you can afford, first off, and also what are you comfortable with monthly, right? Maybe you don't want to spend a 700,000. Maybe you want to spend 400, 500,000 on the actual loan itself because of the monthly payment, which is totally fine for me. It's whatever you're comfortable with. Excuse me. From there, I figure out exactly your needs, what you're looking for, how am I catering it to what exactly you're looking for. And for me, at least, I go back to the time thing. I don't want to waste anyone's time. So if we're going to look for homes, it's because we see one that can potentially be the one, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, I'll get into location, bedrooms. How many beds do you need? How many bathrooms do you need? Do you absolutely need two, which a lot of families do? Are you okay with one and a half, right? One of them might not have a shower, but you'll have an extra toilet, right? Things like that. Are you okay living in an HOA? Do you tell me, Josiah, hey, don't send me anything that's in an HOA. Matter of fact, don't send me anything that doesn't have a pool, or don't send me anything that does have a pool. So I figure out the things that you absolutely need, and also the things, do not send me that. I don't need that. I don't even want to look at it. And for me, don't worry, none offense is ever taken, because this is your process. The way I kind of summarize it up is, you're the driver and I'm the GPS system, right? I'm the one guiding you where to go. If you ask for my advice, I will be honest with you. Don't worry about that. I have no issue, giving you my raw and real advice when it gets down to it. But it's only out of true care. It's only because I'm looking out for you, and I'm representing you. So, yeah, that is a property search portion, and this is the bigger items that I figure out in that process. Is once I already figured out what you're looking for me, this one is a little more important than they're both as important. I shouldn't say one is more than the other, but another detail that I try to figure out with everyone that I work with is, what is most important to you? Is it cash to close, meaning how much you're putting down for the loan itself, and also how much cash you had to bring to the close of escrow. So to explain this in short, you're going to have a down payment, and then there's a percentage of the purchase price for all the fees involved with closing escrow. And I believe, don't quote me, I'll give you a range. It's about 1 to 3%. I'll say 3 might be high as well. 1 to 3% of the purchase price. So, and this is stuff the lender will also get in the details with you as well. How much are we putting down for the price, and then how much are we going to need for closing costs is the term for it. If that is importance to you, that's one thing I will figure out beforehand with you. Or is it mortgage payment? How much is my monthly amount that I'm paying every month? I don't want to be house broke, Josiah. I want to afford nice things that I want to live the same lifestyle that I have on top of owning the house. Okay, cool. I figured that out with you as well. Is it both of those things that are great importance to you? Because if it is, then a cool thing, when it's going back to the negotiation part, is this depends on the market as well, on how it's going. Let's say both of those things are very, very important to you, and we have to keep that in mind with negotiations. I will then move forward with you with that in mind. Meaning, so what does that mean, right? That means when we look for houses, if these two are important to you, my best advice, and I'll tell this to any client, my best advice to look for homes that have been sitting on the market for longer than the average days on market. And I'm able to have access to those stats very easily, and they change area by area as well. So let's say we're looking in a certain area of town, and the average days on market is 30 days, right? On day one, if they go on the market and we try and offer them below asking 10,000, most likely not going to take our offer. But let's say 30 days have passed. They've been on the market 60 days. No one's shot an offer this entire time. They haven't even had a showing. And then we're the first ones in that, one, they get a showing, and then two, get an offer from us. They're going to be a little more open to negotiations. So if this is important to you, one, I will tell you ahead of time, and two, I don't mind showing like houses that have went on the market the same exact day. I have no issue with that. That is completely fine. Just know ahead of time, I will also be sending you homes that have been sitting for a little while. And a lot of the times it's not what you think, just because the reason why I say that is sometimes buyers and some of my own clients in general will think, why is that home been sitting on the market for a while? And it's it's a normal thought to have. I have that thought as well, even as a realtor. Why has this house been sitting on the market for so long? Is something wrong with it physically, right? Is there something that going into this house that is going to affect us negatively, right? Once that's figured out, I will let you know ahead of time. But majority of the time, from my experience at least, we'll still run into homes that might get ugly, and we might have to dodge that. But majority of the times, it's usually nothing. It's something that is negotiable within the entire process itself. So my goal is to find out what can be negotiated in your favor and get that for you. So every term, every detail, I'm negotiating in your favor, but also in a way where we're gonna get this deal done, right? We're gonna get you this house. We're gonna move in on X date, and we're gonna make sure that, we're gonna make sure that we're gonna be on timeline and get you what you need. So that is another aspect of the big long process of purchasing a home. So I mentioned down payment and closing costs. Those two I consider, down payment and closing costs, I just kind of consider one big cost of closing costs. Everyone might have a different definition, which is totally fine. The way I describe it is that is one big fee that you will have to we will address ahead of time. That way you know exactly what to expect. There are out of pocket expenses, outside of what you're putting down. This is all only paid during escrow. You're not going to pay this ahead of time to anyone. You're not going to pay this to me. This is going to be paid to that specific party. And this is all in the name to, one, protect you, and also two, just the regular process of escrow itself. So one of them is inspection. So that could be a total home inspection. They look at the roof. They look at the interior. They'll look at the crawl space. They look at everything, every square inch of the house, as much as they can possible. And they will disclose every single detail they can. They'll even look at if there's any pest work that needs to be done, meaning like termites or things like that. The appraisal, this is just required for the loan. Anytime you get a home loan, there is exceptions here and there. It just depends on situation by situation. But majority of the time, 70-90% of the time, you will have to get an appraisal for a home. That is something you'll get with the lender itself. What an appraisal is whenever the bank gives that loan out, they have to make sure it's a good investment on that actual house for that loan. So they send what's called an appraiser to do an appraisal, meaning they'll look at, kind of like the home inspector, they'll look at the details of the house, the condition, they'll look at the comparables in the area, what's similar, what are the prices selling for in the area. So based on the amount you're offering, they will give an opinion if, okay, this is a realistic amount, this is a realistic version for purchasing this house, and it's kind of like a go-ahead, a green light for everyone else. There is a lot in everyone's power in the process. This is out of anyone's power. Just know that ahead of time. It's the only thing that might have you might see me, cross my fingers in moments, just because that's the only time I've had very good luck. I've rarely ever had bad experiences with appraisals, meaning they're not coming in at values that we want. But overall, this is just one process that's out of anyone's power. Just a heads up. Transaction coordinator fee. This is just a fee that is incurred from our brokerage as well. This is just to do the actual paperwork. We create a file for you. We organize it out, and we keep your file on record in case you might have any questions. Hey, Josiah, do you have a random file from or form from the actual file from when I purchased the home? Because for tax reasons, they might ask for things like that. It's happened in the past. And for me, I always keep them, and I'm always able to provide them when needed. So HOA docs. This is if we purchase a home in a homeowners association. So that only applies if that were to happen. And if we were to get to that part, we would tackle it then. Cool. So that's about the gist of the process. Once we're done doing the actual process, once we're done really with appraisal, that's kind of it during the process. It's a lot of, I'll be honest, it's a lot of like paperwork. It can be a lot of black and white. It can be very like, what am I reading? Like ticky-tacky, or what is this, right? And at any point, if you need to stop, tell me. This is what I tell my clients. Tell me. I will stop, and I will explain something out to you if you need help. The lender will explain something out to you if you need help on, maybe you just don't even understand what you're reading, which is totally fine. It's very normal. But that's about the gist of the actual process of buying a home. It's more simplified than I'm making it, but that's the point. I want it to feel as simple as basically this presentation. I want it to seem like, this is a feat I could tackle, right? So that being said, this is something I go over with all of my buyers. If you don't know, you will now. This is just a quick, I guess like a quote or like an excerpt. So the NAR settlement eliminated mandatory buyer agent commission offers on MLS listings and requires buyer agents to disclose their fees and rent agreements before showings, empowering buyers to negotiate compensation directly. If you haven't heard, now you know. NAR, National Association of Realtors, was in a lawsuit. I can't even remember what year it was. But anyways, they agreed on a settlement with the person that was, I believe they were in court with. Long story short, what all this means is that before so there's the buyer side, it'll be you, myself, the lender, that's on the buyer side, and then there's the sellers, right? Before the NAR settlement, the sellers would pay for every single realtor's commission, including mine. From this settlement, it has made commissions fully negotiable. So, meaning, one, we have to, when we start looking at houses, we have to go into what's called an agreement called a buyer-broker agreement. All it says is just that I represent you. We're looking in a specific area of California. And it just gives like details of what exactly our relationship, business relationship, I should say, looks like in black and white. So the only change that this happened as well with this is that it made commissions negotiable, meaning as a buyer, you may be required to pay for my commission. So has this happened yet? Honestly, I haven't. You can ask a lot of different realtors. I haven't seen any changes. Sellers are still paying for commissions. Will I foresee it ever changing? I'm not sure. But that being said, I always disclose this to my clients, and it depends house by house. One seller might say, "Hey, you know what? I'll pay your buyer's commission. That's your buyer's agent commission." That is totally fine. Another seller might want to tell me to kick rocks, and hey, go ask your buyer for compensation. And I believe we can't even put commissions on any type of writing as well. So just keeping that in mind as well. There's certain verbiage that changed, but overall, what it really did is just change the compensation structure. And yeah, it just made it fully negotiable. So, but that being said, again, you will know ahead of time if this will be a situation that we might have to run into or not. For me, this is just kind of morals talking. I'm so used to not getting any type of compensation from my client on the buy side because that's how I started out. But I will have that conversation with yourself if you're comfortable with it. If on the off chance, right, we get into the nitty gritty. Keep saying that. We get into a situation where it might become a reality. This conversation would have already have happened. Meaning, Josiah, I'm okay with it. Josiah, I'm not okay with it, and then we'll figure it out from there. Point being is that doesn't sway me. For me, the same goal is going to be continue to be there. It's to help you acquire that house, and that's bottom line for me. Is to make sure that end goal is happening for you at the end of the day. Quick little side note before I end this off: new builds, new construction. I also work in this field as well. Meaning, I don't work for an actual new construction builder, but if you wanted to purchase a house that is being built from the ground up, I can represent you in that process as well. And I would advise, even if you don't even use me, I would advise getting represented by a realtor. And the way that works is, let's say you see a new construction site around the block in your area. Before you even go to their website, before you even start calling them or getting information, find your preferred realtor. Hopefully that'll be me. Find me, and we will go out. And the way that works is, I will sign you up as my client that is directly representing you. Excuse me. Throughout the process before any steps. Because if you go by yourself, a lot of the times, if they capture information like an email, a phone number, your name, or things like that, they after that point, they will not let you be represented at all, and you're just going to go directly through the builder. So regardless of the builder area, whatever the case may be, make sure this is just straight advice. Use a realtor. They will represent you. So that way, when you're looking at those forms, because they're completely different, this stuff is resell. This is resell real estate. New construction is its own, I guess you can call it, form of real estate. Their forms are going to be way different. So you're going to want someone that's going to help you, understand those forms. So yeah. Next steps, this is my information below. If this was something that you felt of value, please feel free to reach out to myself. I would love to sit down on a separate date. We can always explore options when it comes to helping you purchase your own home. I pride myself on just overall bringing the best possible type of service that I can for the ones that I work with on a regular basis. So yeah, overall, if this makes sense to you, if this was of value to you, please share. This is going to be on a regular basis. And this is one is for education, if that makes sense. Just to let you know what it takes, because for me, at least in my experience, I feel like a lot of people don't know the steps to buy a house, so it becomes very scary. So it looks almost unrealistic. It looks like, wow, I can't even do that, right? Part of my job is just to make sure, this is what it looks like. This is the steps that it takes. And from there, you now have someone that's going to, you can be able to trust and represent you through those steps. So if this was a value, any feedback is appreciated, and hope to hear from any one of you soon, and hopefully to start your journey with myself. Have a good one.